Hello, and welcome to Extra Connections here on JLJ Media. I'm James Lott Jr., and I love talking to guests I've had on before. I like to bring them back because this has been such a strange time period the last 3 years. I like to bring
Mhm.
back some of the guests and see what they're up to now. This person actually has a venture that's out. We're going to talk about that and check on and see how he's been doing. One of my friends, Dominic Albano. How you doing, Dominic?
Hi, how are you? Thanks for having me back.
Of course, that's great. So I'm going to ask you, as we were talking about off camera, but how have you been during this whole crazy pandemic time period?
It was at first it was, there was so much fear and anxiety, like what's happening. And then it kind of got nice, it was like just staying home all the time, sleeping in.
Yes.
So I liked it. It was fun.
Yeah, I remember we talked about that. We had a great conversation. You guys check it out. It's here on Extra Connection. Check it out. It's his name again. We talked about that, but how for some of us, I mean, because LA usually has nice weather, so like we were like, we
Hmm.
could be outside, be in the backyard.
Yeah.
It was nice.
Yeah, I can't imagine if I was in New York at
Woo!
that during that time in the
Oh,
winter and everything.
oh no, not same here. Same here. So I'm glad we survived, but we survived. And
Yeah.
so but you have this. So you have this. Okay, so we last time I talked to you, we were talking about your branding and kind of what you were doing,
Hmm.
and you're a very smart guy. So now I'm seeing you have a underwear line. So I want to first
Yes.
begin like this Dominic collection. I want to start with how did this come to you? How did this come to you?
Well, you know what? I think I started as an underwear model like 10 years ago.
Right.
And I was doing different brands and stuff and lots of editorial stuff as well and fine arts stuff for books and stuff. So I just even then back then 10 years ago I was like I want something that's my own. Something that I can own, something I can run, something that's mine, that's like my money, and that, I can model for, and I can be the art director for, and I can have the creative input and everything. Because when you're just modeling for someone else, it's all about their vision, and sometimes it's boring or it's just very basic, like e-commerce and stuff. So I said, like, I want mine to be like high fashion and editorial and sexy. So I always had that in my head, but I just felt like now was the right time because it's been about 10 years, like exactly.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what, 10 years, let's just do it.
Well, the thing is, it's so you collected all these experiences in the last 10
Right.
years. So you're able to
Hmm.
say, okay, I like this part, I don't like this part. I like this part. And so you probably start just going, okay, I'm gonna keep that in mind. I'm not gonna do that. Like I'm saying, like I'm gonna make sure I don't do that. But what they did over here with this, I kind of, so that's what you were doing basically, weren't you? As you were working, as you were working.
Right. And I like sometimes I would say, like, I think I even got in trouble a couple times. Like I'd be like, oh, hey, like I think we should do like this, or like, and sometimes they'd be like, no, 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 we got to stick to this. And sometimes like it was really cool because they'd be open to like collaborations and ideas and stuff. And sometimes they would use it.
Well, the thing is, okay, so I mean, you're an entrepreneur, so I mean, well, you are the product. I mean, we I always tell like actors, models, like, we're the product. We are the product.
Right.
But you're going into this whole entrepreneurship thing. Did you ever think when you were growing up that you would be an entrepreneur of some sort? I mean, I know obviously you didn't know this part, but did you ever think that?
Right. Um, you know what? When I was a little kid, I just wanted to be a school teacher.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And I was like, I want a wife and 7 kids and everything, and I just want to be a teacher.
7 kids. I'm like, okay,
I
yes.
don't know why I said
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
You're a kid, a kid, you say something like that. That's really funny. She would be a school teacher. That's wow.
Yeah.
I kind of see not because I know you from the last year. I think I can see that kind of. Yes, I can see that.
But
That's
then I did get into fitness, and I was going to
right.
school for nutrition, and I was a personal trainer, and like I wanted to incorporate fitness, which was my passion as I got older, and nutrition.
Yeah.
And that's how basically I got into the whole thing because I got like, discovered or whatever at the gym while I was training. And then the guy was like, you should be a model. And I was like, really? And so he sent me to this photographer, and I started working with a bunch of people, and then just like took off from there. And all the jobs I booked, it was, all underwear.
Yeah, yeah. That's so funny. Yeah, you lean towards the underwear side of things. I wonder. So do you know why that is? You think? I mean, we obviously have a great body, so yeah. But you wonder why? Because there's models who do socks. There's models who do jet tops. I mean, what is?
Right.
Why do you think you went straight to underwear?
Well, I'm not as tall as a
Okay.
lot of guys.
Okay.
A lot of them are like 6'2", like 6
Yeah.
6 feet, and 6'1", 6'2", and they're like tall, skinny. And I was always more like, even in the beginning, getting into it right off the bat, I was more fit and more muscular. And so I think that has something to do with it. But also, even in the collaborations I did with photographers and like test shoots and editorials, I was always in underwear. So I think it was like a typecast type thing, where you get typecast for something. And I just swimwear, underwear, athletic wear, things like that.
I didn't ask you this last time. Now this is folks have a list of questions, but this is actually not on my question thing, because I love every time I talk to Dominic, I always have great conversation. But as I didn't ask you before, what do you think makes a good swimwear underwear model? Because you're right, you don't have to be super tall or super like. What do you think? What parts do you think make a good one?
Well, definitely, I think six pack is huge, and then I think like the being proportionate, like the whole body. Like you can't have like skinny like chicken legs and then you have like a big chest or something. Like you have to be symmetrical and more on the lean side than the bulky side. I'd say like more like a swimmer or a ballet dancer or something. In my opinion, makes the best underwear model.
Yeah. That makes sense. I mean, 'cause you want, I mean, so you can be any size or height. I mean, any height or anything, long as everything kind of matches.
Well, I think they still want you to be tall because if the shorter you are, the smaller your torso is, and when you're taller, your torso is longer, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So
In
they
some
want
cases,
that like elongated, like long stomach, so you look lean and like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But I've seen some folks who have longer torso, shorter legs. Some folks have longer legs, short. I've seen that combination too. Very interesting. And I'm sure you've seen it when it comes to fitness. So you've seen that. So it's very interesting. So I guess a torso, the buttocks area, some thighs, some legs.
Right.
Yeah, that's what works, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you can work everything else if you have to. But the rest of it, I'm sure, and now because you're showing the skin, you're showing the straps, you have to really show the underwear. You got to make sure you be able to see it for us to see it.
Yeah, exactly.
Was there okay? So I want to start from the beginning. So you said it's 10 years of time. How does one start to get a line?
How does one begin?
Yeah, how do you? I always be curious. How do you? Or just all your secrets, but it's like some of the things, like how does this kind of begin?
Oh my gosh, like I have to go back now. Well, it was a 6-month process from start until the time that product was complete. So that's like 6 months. It's not really that long of a time, but what did I do? The first thing I said was, all right, I need to sit down and I just need to like do like a vision board, like a mood board. And so I started saying like, what types of underwear, what's my brand, what do I want to sell? And I just, was looking back on my own career and my own personal favorites. And I remember that the best underwear, I even looked at like old photo shoots,
Okay, yeah.
Not from like jobs, but like, collaborations and stuff. And I was like looking at the underwear and I was like, okay, I don't really like the elastic waistband, but I like the hidden elastic where it doesn't look like there's any, And so I was like, I love that. It's all like one thing. And then I always hated the underwear with the, the two flaps, like, you know what I mean? And then you open it up and you can, use the restroom. Right. So that I hated that. And so I was like, I want it to all just be like a single layer, just fabric all around, no, buttons or anything like that. Just very simple, back to the basics and classic. And then, I was like doing some sketches. How skimpy do I want to go? Do I want thicker on the sides? Things like that.
Yeah. No, actually, again, knowing you, I think for you to have a classic, not lots of bells and whistles underwear line makes sense to me. For you, it does.
Yeah, and even like my inspirations, it doesn't come from underwear designers or underwear I've worn. It comes from photographers. It's like like Bruce Weber.
Oh yeah.
Do you know Bruce Weber?
I do. Yes, I do. Yes.
Classic. Like it's classic men. So when I'm thinking classic, I'm thinking like Bruce Weber, guys in the woods with the golden retriever jumping in the lake. And I'm thinking, all right, what would those guys be wearing? It's not jock straps. It's not thongs. It's more, like a classic, brief. So like, what's something that's timeless and classic that makes me think of being in a Bruce Weber photo, like on the dock or, with the dog or whatever.
Yeah. That's I like that. That's it. So I love that photography was your inspiration,
Yeah.
not necessarily designers.
Well, a lot of those guys are naked in those Bruce Weber photos that I'm talking about, like
Yeah.
at the pool and stuff. And it's more of like what they would be. It's like the vision, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Or even like the classic Calvin Klein with
Yes.
Kate Moss and what's his
Oh yeah.
name?
Oh my God. What was like? Well, Kate Moss was huge. That was one. Marky Mark.
Mark
Yes.
Wahlberg.
Yeah, Mark
Like
Wahlberg.
that's classic stuff, you know? So I just wanted, like, that was my inspiration.
I like that you were like, I want to go classic, but you also went arts a little bit, but not like artsy, but just like I kind of want to create this thing where someone wears it. It's functional, right? So it's functional. It looks cute. Number one, you have
Right.
it's aesthetic, but also it's not so showy, right? Because a lot of underwear nowadays, there's all kind of things that you're like, okay, what's going on down there? Like, there's all kind of stuff, all kind of stuff going on.
Right. Yeah, I know. I'm not going to say any names, but
Yeah,
I
I
definitely seen some underwear companies, and I think they
know.
know. I think we've talked or we've
Yes,
worked together or talked about working together or something. But it's very like bright colors, super like flashy, like even like a mesh see-through material. And
yes.
there's nothing wrong with that.
No,
Everything
no.
has a purpose, and every personality needs something to represent themselves. But for me, that's just not what my audience is looking for.
So who is your audience? You kind of mentioned a little bit. You were talking about you were watching. So who is your audience?
Right, right. So I'm openly gay, model, actor, and all of most of my fan base, I'd say, over the years is gay men. So I wanted even so I would say first
Anybody
it's
wear it.
well, yeah, of course, anybody. But then the initial thought behind like who is this for? For me, it's like a gift to the fans that have known me and followed me for the past 10 years because they've never had a physical product, a physical something. It's always been pictures. And I came about in like the beginning of the digital era. You
Oh
know what I
yeah,
mean? Like
yeah.
everything was still more digital even when I came in, and then it became more and more digital. So you know um I wanted it to be for the fans, and then even more than that for gay men altogether, people who have never even heard of me or don't know me.
Yeah.
And then even more specific, it would be the sophisticated gay man, the everyday, the working class gay man. They're not going out to a circuit party or a club, they're just going to the office or going to the gym, like practical everyday things.
Yeah. Another side note, you said something that made me think about something else too. Are you doing any more print stuff, or is it mostly all digital now at this point?
Well, actually, I did just do something for print.
Okay, you
A
did.
friend
Okay.
of mine was walked by the store and took a picture, and it was me in the window, like a full, like a printout thing. So I guess that would be print. It was like it wasn't a billboard. It was like
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
like a poster or whatever in the window.
Wow.
So, but in terms of like
Work.
magazines, I
Yeah.
haven't done a print magazine in a while.
That's just I feel old. Like you said when you started, you said when you started 10 years ago, it was a whole different landscape. But there are a lot of magazines that are folding. There are magazines that are just going straight digital now.
But
Um,
when I started, it wasn't like boom, I'm just out there and I'm working like
yeah,
it was like a buildup. Like, oh, I got to go and I got to meet the people and I got to go to castings and I have to shoot and I have to do collaborations. So even at that point, it's not like I was like all of a sudden a cover model. So it like took a while to like break in and like meet the people and stuff. And by the time I was working and stuff, it was already sort of weaning out.
yeah. That's why I say. I mean, from the last conversation, I was like, he has a work ethic, folks. Like when you want something, Dominic gets it. He like you want it, work it out. No, I mean that's something that I think people nowadays just think, well, if I just show my body on Instagram really quick, I should be able to get stuff. But you still have to kind of work at it. You still have to make connection, extra connections. You still have to make connection. You still have to do this work. You still have to do to actually keep getting booked,
Right.
right? I mean, that's the point, right?
Well, and you know what? I can't speak for anybody else, and everybody's has their own
Yeah,
journey and stuff. But for me, I always said like, I have these sort of sexy pictures. These are homoerotic, like very sensual imagery that I've sort of been. I didn't choose that. It just sort of fell into I fell into the hands of those types of photographers, and like I said, it's like typecasting, and I just sort of became known for those types of pictures. But I don't know. I just feel like I was like, I can either do this for 5 years and it's fun, and then I go off and I, go to college and become a, banker or something, or, I keep doing this. And if I keep doing this, I can't just be doing sexy photos. I have to have a plan. I have a business plan. I have to have a future that, falls in line and makes sense.
Yeah, that's smart. That's smart. I mean, yeah, it's that's what I think every model faces that kind of thought at some point. Well,
Mhm.
where do I go from here? Do I, yeah, right? Do I go into acting? Do I go into this? Do I go back to? Do I go into just fitness? Because you have that whole background. I just go into fitness and training. Do I go into become a chef? I guess I've
Right.
seen models do, and some models they stay in the business, create businesses, and they stay in it through to whatever
Right.
it
And
ends.
I'm so OCD, like I can't do, it's got to be the same thing. Like for me, modeling and acting, it's different, but it's the same type market. It's the same
Yeah.
thing in a way. And then the underwear is just an extension of my modeling career. But if I said, "Oh, I'm going to go do this and this and this and bartending here," like I would go crazy because for me, I have a one-track mind. Like this is the path I'm on. This is what I have to do.
So how excited are you with your underwear line? It's out there. It's exciting. You birthed a baby. You birthed something. I mean, it's always a little nerve wracking at first, but are you
Yeah.
happy with it being out?
Yeah, you said excited. I don't really get excited because in my head, it's always like, okay, like congratulations, we did this. I'm sent like 10 minutes to like pat myself on the back and like congratulate myself and said I did this, but then I can't like think about it. I just gotta, there's like so much to do. I have to keep going, and there's like other things I'm planning right now for the future collections. So right now I'm just sort of sitting back and we're, just orders are coming in, but I'm already planning, drawing, figuring out, the next colors, the next styles, and you know,
Yeah.
people are writing to me and requesting things. So I'm
Okay.
taking that into consideration, and I have other modeling ventures I'm working on, and acting stuff that I've got going on too. So
Yeah, that's exciting. Where can you find the underwear?
yeah, so it's my website, www.dominicalbanocollection.com, or on social media, my personal website or my personal Instagram, Dominic A. Albano, or the collection Instagram, Dominic Albano Collection.
Do you have a favorite piece out of this group?
Um,
I know they're all your babies, but do you have one you're like, I really, really like that one that people should really check out?
yeah, I love my favorite style is the bikini,
Okay.
and I love the olive one, the
Mm,
bikini and olive, I'd say. The black is classic. Like I could wear that all the time.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I like the olive. It's like a it's like a olive green, but like in certain lighting, it looks a little gold.
Oh.
Um, yeah, I like that. And then there's another color that's coming out that I can't say, but that might be my favorite as well.
Well, so you're working on a new collection. I guess that's the
Yeah.
thing. Now you're in the hamster wheel, so to speak. Now it's like now you're only as good as your last showing, as they always say. Now you got to do your next thing. So what? I mean, I know you can't give us too many details, but what's going on next? What's going on next?
So I have a new style. I'll take like a whole new style and then new colors for the existing styles. But like I said, I just want to sit back and let that, because we launched on January 3rd.
Yes.
It hasn't even been 30 days yet,
Oh, right.
So I'm like, I can't go too, like, it's got to be, we got to pace ourselves. And like, I want to just release everything and just keep going and, building on top of it and just being like, look, there's more. But I can't. I just got to sit back and just let these sort of, you know,
Yes.
just sit back
Being
and
the
do
world.
it.
Well, the being
Make,
the world. Would you ever want a
Mhm.
brick and mortar store one day, or you like the online market?
Yeah, I do. I thought about that. But I think number one, it's very expensive to run. Number two, people, it's the digital age for literally everything, and businesses are closing down,
Sure.
and or robots are taking over, and with the whole COVID
Yeah.
thing, that really pushed us even more into the future. you know
Yeah. That's
So I
true.
feel like no store, but I think it would be really cool to get inside of like Neiman Marcus or Saks, or
Okay.
I've already been approached to
Yeah.
get into like, what are those stores called where it's, different companies, it's like a pop-up
The
shop,
pop-up. Yeah.
and it's like a mom and pop thing, and it's, got different types of things. Yeah, and it's like on Santa Monica Boulevard, those shops,
Yeah. 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 I've
the
seen them.
sex
Yeah, I've seen
shops
them.
basically.
Kind of, but yes, like that.
So
Yeah.
yeah, they got everything, but yeah, they asked me and I was like, no, I don't really think that that's my vibe. But yeah, I think I wanted to, think bigger, like later down the line.
I think it would be cool. We always say things that exist. I think it would be cool to have an openly gay designer, openly gay product in a regular big box store. I think why not? I think there's nothing. I mean, at this point, who cares who the designer is, so to speak? But representation does matter also.
Well, all those guys are gay.
I know, but you know what I mean. Like
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I know.
they kind of market like it's for every. I'm like saying if you come in with your aesthetic for the and you say okay, and yeah, of course we want everybody to buy it, but
Right.
you're like come in with a certain vision that is almost like so this is for gay men really especially to showcase and spotlight them. I think it'd be a great idea to have that. I mean, why not? I mean, it's like who cares?
Totally.
Yeah, like why
Yeah,
not?
I agree.
I don't think we've seen, like I said, yes, we know some of their personal lives. But we haven't really seen anything marketed that way. I don't think in a big box store like a Bloomingdale's
That's true. Yeah,
or
that's true.
Saks or any of those kind of places. Like I said, that'd be kind of cool if you had your stuff in there. If your stuff matches what they kind of sell, why not?
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? I wanted to tell you that for the future of the business, I sort of like, as you know, I started as the model. Like I'm the model for
Right?
the line, but I kind of want to, I know that other lines, like the designer is the model all the time,
Yeah.
but like we're in the age where like diversity matters, and like representing everybody matters, and I agree, I believe in that, and so I want to incorporate that into my business with plus sized models,
Oh,
trans models,
that's
black models,
good.
Asian, Latino, and obviously I'm the white model,
That's
but
yeah,
yeah, I want to represent everybody, and I want people to see that and know that.
yeah. I do, and it's just, and to me, it's not only smart business number one, but it's just why not? That's our community is that vast. It's that vast. It's that wide.
Yeah, it really is.
Why wouldn't you want to market to them and market to everybody and show them
Yeah.
here's how it could look like if you they can have somebody to relate to and go okay I can okay I see that it does people they understand it does matter representation really does help with sales and it does help with someone wanting to support somebody who supports that that's also very so
Absolutely.
not taken lightly at all. Not taken lightly at all. Um, so was there? I'm gonna have to ask because you're big. Because for folks who watch for business reasons, was there any trepidation getting into the underwear or just clothing business?
You know, there's just so much. You know what I mean? There's so much competition. Is I feel like anybody, everybody can do anything they want. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You've got all these websites like Etsy, and there's eBay, and there's just like so much out there, and everybody wants to contribute. Everybody wants to sell. So I feel like that was something that I was like, is this just going to add to this big, you know, mess of like
right,
so much, like
right.
everything's in excess. So I was like, I don't want to just be a part of something that everyone's doing. So I was like, I have to figure out ways that I'm different and I'm better. So that was definitely a thought. And that was also like a hesitation, and like my own insecurities and stuff was like, put me on pause. Like, can I
Yeah,
do this? What makes me special? Like everyone's doing it. So that was definitely something that made me think. But then I started to come up with things that no one else is doing that I know of,
good. And
like the notes.
what? Hello.
Huh?
Of course, I said,
What?
and why not? I mean, it's one of
Yeah.
those things, almost kind of those things too. I said, well, don't stop. I mean, we all have a little trepidation. I think we do certain things in markets, but I'm like, why not do it? Try it out. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. I mean, like life will go on. But what if it does work out? That kind of thing, right?
Right. Exactly. But I think if anybody's going to do something like this, you have to think that it will succeed, and that it's all about imagery. And if anybody knows anything about that, it's me, because I was a part of that world,
Yes.
of like imagery, and like people love, like there's a whole website, Instagram, about images. So if you have strong images, and compelling images that tell a story and that are sexy and fun and like make you wonder, then I feel like that right there will draw people in.
Yeah, I agree. I know. I love how you come from that world, that other side of the world of that you're
Mm-hmm.
incorporating that into what you're creating, and I think that's very smart. Like I said, you've always been very smart, but I think it's very smart to come from that approach, because it's going to serve you differently than if you just came from it like, I want shorts with pineapples on them, and that's cute. Again, not naming names, but I'm saying that it does. Some people come from
No pineapples on mine, okay?
no eggplants, pineapples,
Nothing.
kernels,
No,
nothing.
no.
Yeah, I'm like, I just like, I
Solid colors.
no, I'm like, which there are a lot of men like myself who just want regular underwear. We're not looking for anything flashy or fancy. You just want something that's functional, that looks make because good underwear makes you do feel good. I'll tell you, I left the Fruit of the Loom section. I left it all that stuff. I got a little higher up. I'm like, I do feel better wearing something a little more
And I
higher up.
have to say, you're openly gay, right?
Yes, yes.
And so am I, and I'm sure a lot of your audiences as well. But the thing is, for gay people, I feel like our sexuality unites all of us. You could be in Kansas or in LA and have different jobs, different life stories, but there's one thing that unites us, and that's our sexuality, and sometimes our sexual appetite. So I feel like underwear is an extension of that, and that, we get to express ourselves and our sexuality and who we are through our underwear. And that's why I feel like, a lot of gay men spend a lot of time searching for high end underwear and luxury underwear. And, they have the money to do it because a lot of gay men don't have children or
Right.
other expenses like that. So,
Well, I'll tell you, my little side story is I was living in San Francisco. I was there for 22
mhm.
years, and I went to the Castro. Of course, I was working at Castro. And it was my roommate best friend who introduced me to higher end underwear. Because I was like going down to Target, or whatever, getting my little
Yeah,
whatever. He's like, no, he
right.
goes, seriously, the quality's better. Number one, it just is. Sorry, folks, it is better. But two, he goes, you'll feel different, even though no one's going to see it out in the daylight. I mean,
Hmm.
maybe somebody will see it later, but not in the daylight, because you'll feel better. And you say, and it's an extension of your personality, like you said, or your sexuality, like you just said. And
Totally.
I was just like, what, really? I was like, I was so like, I grew up poor, so I didn't know. I'm like, what are you talking about? I understood shirts, I understood jackets, shoes. For some reason, it took me a while to get to the underwear stage, even socks too, just my socks. But anyway, so on the Castro, we had a place called Body that had just all this stuff on there. And he actually took me almost like on a lesson. I'm like this grown man in my 30s going, what is all this? What's going on? And he showed me back then brands like Poppy and To Exist, and there was all these different brands that was
Yes.
coming out, but it's like I never even knew. And there was so much underwear. I'm like, I don't even know what to do with all this. Like, and such cute underwear and functional underwear. Like, and he taught me, and I did the
Hmm.
first time I put on some underwear that cost a little more than $5.99. I found myself feeling and walking differently.
Yeah.
It
You
did.
feel
It
more
really
confident.
worked.
You feel more sexy, or
Yes.
sexual too. All of
Yes.
it.
I never knew
Yeah.
that. I never knew that until my friend showed me that, and I was like, okay. And so now, to this day, I buy higher end underwear, and it actually does last longer. I mean, it does last
It
longer.
does last longer. Yeah.
Does last longer. So that's why you should get the Dominic Albano collection, because you'll get higher end, but stuff for folks. If you're a person who, like me, who's just a t-shirt and jeans guy, sometimes you just kind of just.
I'm like that too.
I know you are. So we're not fancy. We're not fancy.
Yep.
But like just some functional underwear that looks good, feels good, higher quality.
Mhm.
I guess I should ask: is it cotton underwear? I mean, what different kinds of fabrics? What kind of underwear fabrics are you using?
So it's called Tencel.
Like
It's
Christmas pencil.
Tencel.
Okay,
And
Tencel.
it's the brand name for this for Lyocell. Do you know Lyocell?
No, I don't know.
I chose it because it's like super like stretchy, and soft and like lightweight, but still like durable. Because when I was working out all the time, I would be wearing my cotton underwear, and then it
Yeah.
would be tearing at the at the bottom,
Oh
like
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah,
you
yeah,
know, and
yeah.
so it would be tearing, just doing squats, and then all of a sudden I'd have these like holy underwear, and I'd be like I can't, like this is not, I can't go through underwear like this. So this material was part of the reason why I did this. And like I was researching all the different underwear and like, feeling different samples, like paint samples, but fabric samples.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I was like feeling the different ones. I'm like, it has to be so that you can gain weight, lose weight, and work out without tearing, ripping, or like being too big or being too tight. Like this goes with your body. So if you do gain weight or lose weight or work out a lot,
Yeah.
it's not going to have that effect of tearing and stuff.
That's good. Because there's that whole fraying at the bottom sometimes too. It frays. You're like, what's that? Like it's like, what's going
Yeah.
on there? Yeah. That's
And
very good.
sometimes like the main brands that are like you see everywhere, like Target, it's just not comfortable.
No, it's not.
It's not soft. Like it's not, it's just, and sometimes it bunches on the sides. So this is definitely not like that.
Well, it's funny for men because women, of course, they have bras and panties. They've been taught to kind of look for whatever. But I guess men, sometimes we have to be taught because it is against your skin, and it's holding
Yeah.
valuable things down there. But we don't think about it enough. I mean, we're starting to now think about what we're putting on our skin, and that literally
Right.
that's something that's really a basic thing. It should be comfortable down there. We're moving, we're walking. It should be. I had some underwear. It's horrible. The seat was too small, or the sides are too big, or it's like it's all this stuff. Just like what? Who designed this, and who was it for?
Like I'll tell you, like I fit into two sizes.
Oh, okay.
So I fit in the small and I fit in the medium, and they both feel good. It just depends on what I'm trying to do. So like the smaller one, everything is tighter, and everything looks bigger, and you
Yeah,
get it shapes better. And the medium one still fits just as well. I just have more room and stuff. It's not as tight and contouring my body.
so you wear medium for like working out and stuff. Do you like that, or do you?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
but if I was going to do the photo shoot, I would do the small. So everything's tighter and sexier for the photos. But then if, in a practical setting, I would do medium. But the point is, like, people have asked me, well, what size am I? And I'd be like, well, you could fit in both sizes, two sizes.
yeah, that's true. Well, it's like shirt stuff. The cut it depends on the cut. Uh,
Right.
some cuts you can be a medium, some cuts you can be a large. It just depends what it is. Like, don't get offended, folks. It's the cut of the shirt. That's why they have these weird standard fits and regular fits and slim fits and this and all. It's like it's underwear, the same thing. I mean, it's the same thing.
Yeah. But, with this fabric, like I said, it just, I don't know I don't know. It's just the stretchiness, but yet it's tight, and it's just multiple body types can fit in one size. It's like, have you ever seen that movie Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants or
Yes,
whatever? It's
yes,
these four girls in different sizes, heights, weights, and they fit in the same jeans. It's like
yes,
that in a way, I
yes.
feel.
God, about that movie in a long time. Yes, yes, they do. I love it.
That's my
Well,
underwear.
I love it. Well, that's it. Now we'll end it on that note. I love like that, folks. Dominic, congratulations. I will
Thank
have
you.
in the description, everybody, where to get it, Tell them what's more where they can get it.
www.dominicalbanocollection.com, or
Yes,
on Facebook and Instagram.
yes, go there. Follow him also for updates. Subscribe to the website, everything, do all that, so you get all kinds of updates and things and what's going on with his future collections. But again, I'll have them in the description, of course. And just congratulations. I think that's great. I'm anybody who does it for themselves, like you said, have your own money, do it yourself. We know it's not easy. It's not easy to do this, but it's worth it. I think it's worth it.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
I'm James Lott Jr. We again connecting you. Extra Connections, JLJ Media, everywhere you find your podcast, everywhere you find on YouTube, JLJ Media. And we will see you next time.